Very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where and when you're watching us from. My name is Mutathi Wachira Wanyaga, Mujiro wa mbari ya Karigithi. Na ngwihoka kuma ngongo ciothe iria ciumaga huho muri thayu. Today is a good day. Finally, the conversation that we had planned with KVA Muvavarirwa, all the way from Zimbabwe, is here. So today on African Corner, this is the 46th episode. We want to talk about the impact of powerful Africa from Zimbabwe to Africa and the world. So thank you for everybody who's going to comment, everybody who's joining us live, everybody who's keep on sharing to the people who you want them to see this live broadcast or want them to see or watch it later. So tonight on the show tonight, I have a very good friend all the way from Zimbabwe, in the southern part of Africa. It's on the larger south of South Africa, and KVA is a Pan-Africanist. He is a philosopher. He's a speaker and writer. He's a generational awakened leader. I hope he'll tell us what that means. And he's also the founder and president of Powerful Africa. So I am very honored tonight to have this conversation with him. He's doing really good job in Africa. And I was just sharing with him just before we started the show that here in Kenya, I happened to meet his content being shared on Facebook on a totally different group that I did not expect, and I was like, "Hey, this is so nice. This guy is spreading the gospel of Africa across the continent." And I was almost even feeling as if I can text in that group and say I actually know this person because it's a proud feeling to know that the sons of Africa are actually making Africa proud. So KVA Muvavarirwa. First of all, tell us what is the meaning of KVA, or generally what does your name mean?
Okay, thank you, Mutatu Wachira, and I want to thank everyone who's listening to us. KV Mavariwa, those are initials for my full names. You know, I'm the eldest Muzukuru. I'm the eldest nephew in our family. So as the eldest nephew, everyone wants to name you. And Kudakwashe, that is my first name. K stands for Kudakwashe. And V stands for Vincent, and A stands for Alexander. So Alexander was a name that was given after my uncle, who was a war veteran. And Kudakwashi, it came from my father, Vincent from my mother. Everyone had a need to name me. And my grandfather was more like saying, if you don't name him Alexander, because that was his name that you would use for at all. So he said, please go, it's better for you to give him at least 3 names. He should have that name. So as the eldest nephew, that's when I came up with 3 names. So I can say at first, it was really difficult at school. I was able to, I have 3 names. Three names. It was very hard for me. It was very hard for me. But then I turned salt into sugar. And I've built my brand with my initials KVA. So basically, that's my name.
Wow, it's interesting to hear that. I really wanted to know what is the meaning of KVA, but finally I know. But actually, I'll not call you Vincent. I'll not call you Alexander. What I'll use is Muvavarirwa. I find that name interesting. And I can see a comment coming in live here. Ken Kiptoke Ted is saying he's tuned in from Kapsabet, Nandi County. Thank you, Kiptoke, for tuning in live. So KVA, how is Zimbabwe? First of all, how are you and how is Zimbabwe? How is the country there?
When I talk of Zimbabwe, recently I can talk of Zimbabwe recently introduced digital-backed currency and money that is backed by gold. So Zimbabwe is a very blessed country. True revolutionaries. When I talk of land, we are the first country in Africa that took back its land from the white farmers. Now we are now talking of gold, the first country in Africa to back its money with gold. So Zimbabwe is truly a blessed country. The country has just been under illegal sanctions. But then Zimbabwe shall rise up again. It's just a beautiful country.
Okay. Good to hear that. At least there is peace. Peace is the most paramount thing, that we want here in Africa. And maybe just to tell us more about Zimbabwe, because funny enough, Africans sometimes we are ignorant. And despite the fact that we are in this same continent, people just know some small nuggets or pieces of information of various countries. Maybe you can tell us more, because I can today I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine, and I was telling him tonight I'm going to have a conversation with a friend, with a brother all the way from Zimbabwe, and he tells me, I really want to know more, because the much that I know about Zimbabwe is about your former president, Robert Mugabe. But what else? What else? Other than also on the Victoria Falls, yeah. So what else do you want to share about Zimbabwe?
Okay, number one, I would say when I hear about Zimbabwe, number one, it is the country with the highest black entrepreneurs in Africa.
Mhm,
Number
mhm,
one. Number two, Zimbabwe has the highest black farmers in Africa.
mhm.
And another thing, Zimbabwe is a very, very, very peaceful country, one of the richest country in terms of minerals. Well, like I always mention, one of the few countries that managed to took back its land from the white farmers. A very peaceful country, a loving country, just was affected by sanctions, but a very peaceful country, very, very much peaceful.
Yeah. I can see Timothy Mabango saying that Zimba Zimbabwe. I don't know what that means, but
It means Zimbabwe, its name came from, the Great Zimbabwe. So,
mhm,
Great Zimbabwe, that's where the name of Zimbabwe came from. Zimbabwe meaning house of stones.
mhm.
That's what Zimbabwe means, house of
Ah,
stones.
I wonder where Timothy knew that from, because he's from Kenya, here in western part of this country. But that's interesting. Thank you, Tim, for sharing it live. So let us get into it, Muvavarirwa. Tell us what's your story, because I've been seeing you so passionate about Africa, decolonizing the mind, emancipation of the African person, and just preaching the gospel of the African person. And it begged me to wonder, like, why? Tell us the story. Where does it all begin? How did you get to do this, and why? Before even we start talking about, powerful Africa.
Okay, basically, when I talk about myself, growing up, I have a religious background. Yes,
Mhm,
born in a Christian family, blah, 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 growing up with an open mind, learning new things, decolonizing, a whole lot of things happened. But what I
mhm,
can say from the onset, even when I was young, I
mhm,
had those like leadership qualities. Whenever I would see something, I would say, "Ah, there's a need for this to be improved." Whenever I look at anything, or if I see someone leading, I'll just say, oh, they should have done this, they should have done this. It's not a way of whereby I'm saying I know everything. But it was
mhm,
in me whereby I would see, if this person do this, this would be much more. If he does this, if he does this and this and this and this and this and this. So my journey is a bit long. It's a bit long that I can explain much about it. But what I can say, I can basically identify myself as someone who is passionate who is passionate about Africa. Being paid or not being paid, I love my African people. I love
mhm,
Africa, and I'll fight for Africans.
mhm. You know, uh, I think I hear similarity in your story, almost similar to mine, because we are most so passionate about Africa, and sometimes in this age group that we are in, it becomes difficult, or people find it foreign for somebody to be saying that. And I also have a group of friends that who are they love Africa so much, they are always trying to make sure that we are preaching the gospel that we are Africans, and it is okay to be Africans, and we are not ashamed of ourselves. And once we see a brother all the way from Zimbabwe doing the same, I was like, wow. We are not alone in this journey. It's amazing. Ken Kipto Keter says that the accent, man, sounds like that of Obert Ube, the African poet. I don't know if you know Obert Ube, the African poet.
Oh, the African poet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that one is our award winning. a national awards, merit awards winner, poet.
And also now, talking of your story, so basically what you're telling us is that this journey, whatever you do, starts from your own personal, just a passion of Africa. And why then do you think it is important for us to do what you're doing right now? Why is it important for us to remind Africans of who they are and tell them the power that they have? Basically, this is what I call the impetus of the African identity. Why is that so important to you?
To me, if you don't know what was, you don't know what is. In order for you to understand the present, you have to understand the past. And for you to understand the future, you have to understand the present. But if you don't know the past, you won't understand the present. And just like what Malcolm X said, a people without the knowledge of their past is like a tree without roots. We have no roots if we don't know our cultural identity. Our cultural identity is our roots. That's why I always refer to the village as the roots. The roots, the beginning, the dawn. Where are we coming from? Whom are we? What are we presenting? What are our skills? What are our gifts? Whom are we? Whom am I? Why am I doing in this world? What's my purpose? What's my vision? What should I do? So without a cultural identity, you are not able to understand anything. Without cultural identity, you become whatever anyone else says you are. If I say you are this, you just nod your head and say I'm this. That's why it is important for us as Africans to know our cultural identity, rather than defining our cultural identity from a book that was written by men who said I was inspired by God. It is important for us to know our cultural identity. And where is our culture? Where do we get our cultural identity? It is there in the spiritual realm. Just like you, for you, Mutati. If you need to know the type of a woman you should marry, it's there in this spiritual realm. They will tell you. In your ancestral line, in your lineage, marry this type of women. When it comes to work, how you earn a living, they will tell you your ancestors did this and this and this and this and this and this and this. So when it comes to cultural identity, it's everything. Without cultural identity, we are nothing. We are nothing.
In Swahili we say mwacha mila ni mtumwa. Basically means somebody who lives their own culture is a slave. Yeah, and also I was reading something by the poet, because today we are talking. I can see people mentioning poets. There's the Muhammad Al Faituri. He says that Africans, why have they not realized their potential? Because we are talking whatever we are talking about today, it's because it means there is something that is not going right somewhere. And maybe Muvavarirwa, you can tell us why is this the case? Where did we go wrong? Why have we not realized our potential? Where did it all begin?
Okay, I can say it began. It's like me and you, Mutati. If we train our children to be something, they will be what we be. Okay, you see my phone. If we teach your child and my child, if they are young, that this is God, or that this is Jesus, or that this is Muhammad, this is Allah, this is whomever. Even if we leave this phone for more than 150 years, our children will educate their children that this is Muhammad, this is who, this is whomever. So when it comes to Africa, the way we were colonized, we were put into a systematic brainwashing. We were brainwashed. It was systematic. When the colonizer came, first of all, I would say it's our people who sought out. We as Africans, we were not tricked. We were wiser people. But it's just some of us were bought. Some of us were bought to say one of us. Just like what Malcolm X once said, they will pay one of us to kill one of us just to say it was one of us. So when it comes to Africa, first of all, they bought one of us to say one of us. So we sold ourselves. After we sold ourselves, we paved a way for them to come. And when they came, they took over and they put us into a systematic brainwashing. They realized one thing. They said, if we take these Africans, let's say a toddler, if we start brainwashing this child, just like what sociology says, if you are born, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You are taught to speak. You are taught to write. You are taught to walk. You are taught everything. You don't know anything. There's nothing that you know. But everything that you know, you are taught. Just like be it whatever, be it vulgar, be it anything, it's something that we are taught. So this systematic thing, they started enslaving our minds while we were at school. They destroyed our cultural identity. They destroyed our spirituality where they saw that Africans were strong spiritually. They destroyed, I can simply say, they destroyed the backbone of Africa. And our grandparents, they taught us the same thing because they were brainwashed at a younger age, and they did the same to our parents, and our parents did the same to us. That's why it was this stage.
One of the challenges that I have here in Kenya is that when you share these such kind of sentiments with our fellow Africans, which is also sad, it's our fellow Africans who say these things because Africans, we are just eating ourselves. When you share this and they start telling you that this is backward, you're starting to become backward. You're going back, and what do you say to such kind of sentiments?
Okay. I would say the reason people think what they think is because they were programmed to think what they think. They think what they think because of the system.
Mm-hmm.
Just like if you want to enslave someone, make sure that you have enslaved them in their mind, and you won't need chains to chain them. Chain them in the mind. You don't need any more chains. You don't need any more chains. Africans would say, so then I think it's a matter also of not knowing our own history. Because if Africans start to know that we are the ones that civilized Europe, we don't know that. Africans don't know that. What we only know about ourselves, no, your ancestors used to live in caves. And we think Europe civilized us when we are the ones that civilized Europe. It's a matter that we don't know our history. So when people say that, no, that colonial mindset worked, it worked. Black people believe in white people more than what they believe in themselves.
Yeah, true.
If you want black people to believe something, say white people said it. They will believe you.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens in Africa. And I can see Ken Kiptos saying that take away, and he quotes, if you don't know what was, you cannot know what it is. Now, as a historian, this is the line I'll use to deconstruct those who try to discredit history. No much argument anymore. He's learning from you already. And then you can see him saying that, remember Bantu Biko turning the South Africa Student Organization SSO into Black Consciousness Movement, BCM. He appreciated the fact that our own troubles were rooted in the mind. Yeah, I actually think the same. It begins and ends in the mind. And Muvavarirwa, let me also get into this issue of here. There's a Kikuyu song that says that once the white man came, he came and took away our God, he came and took away our freedom and took away our land. When we were chasing them away, or when they were going away, they gave us back our land, they gave us back our freedom, but they went away with our God. That's what the singer said. So, and we now see the people who are bashing this, or the people who are for whatever they are for the white person, they normally say, you guys are now getting into witchcraft. I don't know if you've heard such kind of things. And now they're saying, no, this is backward. This is witchcraft. In Kiswahili, they call it uchawi. So what are do you have such kind of experience, and what do you think about that?
Okay, like what I said earlier, everything how our people are thinking, it's a systematic brainwashing. The first thing that will happen to us is Africans were lied to, or we were lied to, that our ancestors are demonic. Like I said, they destroyed the spiritual, our backbone of Africa. That is its spirituality. That is our backbone. Africa was strong spiritually, so they destroyed it. So I want you to notice something. If the whites say, just like what Samora Machel said, if you one day you hear the whites speak well of me, know that what I've betrayed you. So every time you see these our own colonizers saying that this is bad, know that that thing is good. If they say this is good, know that thing is bad. So if you hear them coming with the narrative that our culture is bad, our spirituality is bad, that is very good. Whatever is the opposite.
And
They
in that
attack
topic
our strength.
and in that topic of spirituality, there is something that I saw you had posted on Facebook, and I found it very interesting. That why did the missionaries fail spreading their religion in Asia, but they succeeded in Africa? Why?
Yes. Like I mentioned, here in Africa, some of our people, they sold out. We sold out ourselves. We sold out ourselves. There is no enemy outside if there is no enemy within. If there is an enemy outside, the enemy is within. Someone partnered. Yes, China was colonized, but they refused the British culture. They refused the British religion. They refused. But we as Africans, today, just like what the former Chinese president once said, in Africa, religion is one thing that is doing well more than any other thing. It's doing well. Africans are busy closing in factories and turning them into churches where they are busy praying for jobs.
They are praying to the God of Israel, and Israel is busy protecting itself with ammunition.
And we've
Anyway,
become our own colonizer ourselves. We are colonizing ourselves daily.
and I am actually my area of study. I'm writing on African philosophy and I study philosophy and specifically African philosophy. And one of the things that I read is that there was this father, who was a missionary. His name was Father Placide Temples, and he went to Zaire among the Baluba people. And so Father Placide Temples write a book called Philosophia Bantue, basically meaning the Bantu philosophy. And he starts questioning some things, and he says that how do you even though he was not putting it in the right manner, in a good positive manner, is that how then do we say these people do not have a philosophy, yet I have said here, and sometimes we have so many challenges and we tell them, come and we pray for you, and they pray and it does not work. But once they go back to their ways of their forefathers, and this is the challenge that we have. So how did your ancestors use to work on this, and they find a solution and it works? So Father Plato was asking, then how do you explain this? Is this mysterious or how? And even here in Kenya, we have had so many challenges with various communities and families, especially in the issue of dowry. Especially in my community, you find that somebody has started experiencing some real problems in their family, premature death, some certain kind of weird sickness that do not have a solution. So, and finally they go and find out, oh, maybe it's your grandmother or your grandfather never took the dowry to their grandmother, and that has been following them up. And actually, once they start doing that, it works. But you see, some other people still claim that is witchcraft. Anyway, let us move on from that, because what I just put it in plain language is this: if you have two types of vehicles, let's use a Mercedes and a Toyota, and then you put some certain spare parts of the Toyota into the Mercedes. Obviously, it might work, but it will not work well. There's something that might go amiss, and it's the same thing. You know, we as Africans sometimes we import some things and put themselves into ourselves, and then we
Mm.
start misbehaving and things not going well. It's just high time people to start asking themselves some good questions. Now, Muvavarirwa, I want us now to talk about powerful Africa. And before we do that, Ken Kiptoa sent in more comments, saying that because argument was that the moment the black child was disabused of the erroneous belief that he's inferior, progress will be easier. Okay, and then I can see Vidzo from Mombasa saying, "Good job, Oshira speaks." Thank you, Vidzo. And then I can see Ken Kipto saying, "Our very own president is being praised by the West." So yes, your guess is as good as mine. Was it Mozambique's Machel or Makel, however you pronounce it, who said, "When you see the white man praise me, know that I have failed you." Wow, interesting conversation. So, Muvavarirwa, let us talk about Powerful Africa. You have this organization that you have founded, and you are the leader of it. You're the president of this organization. Tell us about it. So, what is Powerful Africa, and what do you guys do in Powerful Africa or with Powerful Africa?
Basically, Power for Africa for now, we are here to disclose more about the vision, the mission, and some things. But basically, we are hosting events and we will unpack the vision, the objectives, the clear objectives. But what we are doing right now is Power for Africa is doing a lot of work online,
Mhm.
a lot of work online. We have WhatsApp groups. We have a number of WhatsApp groups. Now we have more than 15 WhatsApp groups. And also our page there is very much growing. So in short, I can say Power of Africa is a platform that we have created in a world whereby there's political news, there is sporting news, a lot of sad news around the globe, a lot of sad news. We decided to say, no, let us create a positive platform that will feed people with the positive energy. Because all around, if you go by the street, it's all negative news. All negative news. Okay, someone said, it's not news if it's not bad.
Mhm.
That's what someone said. If it's not bad, it's not news. But you said, no, 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 no. There is a need for us to create something that is very positive. Very positive. And we have created Power for Africa. And what is Power for Africa doing? Power for Africa is telling the good story about Zimbabwe and Africa. We are branding Zimbabwe. We are telling the good story about our culture. Groups who are digging into different tribes, cultural practices, totems, unpacking our history, our true identity. Also, Power for Africa is telling the good story about farmers, black farmers. And remember, Power for Africa is pro-African. It's pro-African. We believe our people are all powerful and they will reclaim our power. When it comes to farmers, we are telling the good story about farmers that are doing it well and inspiring others to join farming. Black farmers, we need more black farmers. We are teaching our people to utilize our land, motivating them, inspiring them. And when it comes to the business side, to the entrepreneurship side, we are talking of real black entrepreneurs that became successful, who are sharing their news, their information, how inspiring it was, their journey. We are sharing all that. Power for Africa is also inspiring youthful inventors, youthful skills, young people that are having skills. We are telling the good story about them. We need innovation at a younger age so that when they grow, they would have experience to build our Africa. So Power for Africa is doing a lot of things. The platform has been designed to be very positive. And even when it comes to our foods, Power for Africa is pushing for us as Africans to eat healthy organic foods in this world where there is GMO everywhere and we are seeing a higher level
Mhm.
of cancer, different types of cancer. Our people are sick because of the food they are eating.
Mhm.
And Power for Africa is launching it's food products. We have traditional food products that we are launching. Yes, always a drive to say our people eat healthy food rather than papas that are busy shouting in tongues saying you are sick doing healing services. What? When people need to be told you are eating wrong food, our people need to eat the right food. So Power for Africa is really doing a whole lot of work around that. But basically, in a nutshell, we are feeding our people with positive energy all throughout. That our people can build our Africa. That our people are very great people. That we have great African history, not history that we were taught at school. No, we are decolonizing colonial mindset. We are decolonizing. We are decolonizing and decolonizing and decolonizing. Inspiring literacy. We are destroying ignorance among our people. Our platform is very, very challenging. It will challenge your core beliefs. It will challenge that colonial mindset. It will challenge it. If you are not ready, if you join our platform, you will sleep with high blood pressure. But our platform is very, 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 very inspiring.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I hear that, Muvavarirwa. And I see what you do on Facebook, as I've shared earlier. I really like the content that you put out in Facebook. I really think that you should also try and do more on YouTube, more on all those social media platforms. Try and get to this social media platform so that our people can also get to digest and see the information that you guys are having there in Zimbabwe. Because eventually, this is something that should reach to all corners of the continent and to every person, African person in the globe. It's really interesting. I've been learning some few things here and there from you, and I'm sure other people can learn as well. I can see Ken Kipto also saying that, Shira, I attended, beg your pardon, I attended a certain pre-wedding in 2019. As a priest, Father Tororei spent the entire sermon time educating the village about the importance of our cultural beliefs and especially dowry. And then he says, Tororei gave many examples of faith families as a result of not honoring dowry requirements. That day, all the denominations agreed. Okay, that's interesting there. So, uh, Powerful Africa, you're doing whatever you're doing, and you're doing it really nice. So, how now do you intend or what are your intentions? What is your plan moving forward to not only be in the online space, but also be in the physical spaces, and especially now moving outside even Zimbabwe to other parts of the continent? How do you plan to get to Kenya? How do you plan to get to South Africa? How do you plan to go to the West in Nigeria and Ghana? So, what is the plan that you want to incorporate using through Powerful Africa as a platform to get to people across the divide here in the continent and every African person in the globe?
Okay, basically, so far, what we have done is Power of Africa is connected to all Africans around the globe. We have groups for people, for our dear Africans in West Africa, in East Africa, in Europe, in Asia, America, all over, all over, all over. So right now, what we are said to do is we are said to introduce our membership. Our membership, we've been building our structures solid, having a solid team to carry on the work. Because one setback of the revolution was in tasking people that are unconscious over a certain goal. We have to wake up the people first. But right now, I'm very, very happy. And through what we have done with our platforms, our WhatsApp platforms here in Zimbabwe, is we have gathered all conscious people together. We have cornered all conscious people. We have cornered them. We have cornered them. So with those people, they are ready to be that flame to light all others across the African continent and all over the world. Like what I always say, Zimbabwe is a revolutionary country. Wherever we are the pace setters. We are the pace setters of everything. And that flame is coming out with the power of Africans. They will carry that decolonizing campaign all over the African continent. We have built them. We have cornered them, and our structures and our formal structures are now there. Everything is now there. We are just set to launch the revolution.
Yeah, that's really powerful, by the way, really, really powerful. And I urge everybody who is watching this, go and search KVA Muvavarirwa and Powerful Africa on Facebook, and also on other platforms that you might find them, and follow them and see what they do and learn from that. And also, I hope as you guys are doing that Powerful Africa, you can be able to find a way where this membership can be across the globe, as you're saying it, so that people like us who are not necessarily in Zimbabwe can be able to be part of the journey. Here at Asira Speaks, we're also trying to do something similar. Apart from the other services that we do, teaching people, training people, we're also still preaching the gospel of, the African person as the impetus of the African identity. That it is okay to be an African. You are powerful the way you are, and let nobody lie to you. Anything else, it is okay, and you are fine. I don't want to get into the details of that at the moment, but what I know for a fact, or what I've experienced here, or what we have experienced with my team, is that it is hard. Muvavarirwa,
Mm,
it is hard doing this
mm,
work, telling people, preaching this
mm,
new message, and I'm using the word gospel intentionally because people are
mm,
used to a different meaning of the gospel. So
mm.
I know it is hard. I know it is challenging. So how hard has it been for you? How challenging has it been for you and Powerful Africa as in general?
You know what, Wachira? I've learned something about Africans. Africans love their couch. Number one, they love their couch. They
Mm,
love it. They love their totems. They love it. But what I've realized is this: it's just not the popular opinion. The popular opinion is you have to be a Christian, holding a Bible every day, wearing a suit, having your tie on. That is the popular opinion. But deep down, people know they have their roots. They know it. Even if they try to run away with the scriptures, I've seen people love their history. And what I've realized about people, like what you were saying, people don't want anything that contradicts their mind, is I've realized when people are challenged, their mindset is challenged, or their way of belief is challenged, they have what we call cognitive dissonance, a feeling whereby you don't want your beliefs to be attacked because it will create a feeling that you wouldn't love. Let's say, for example, you've been told about something for more than 45 years, and then you are told that it's not true. Just like you have 5 children, and at the end of the day, you are told they are not your children. You would say, no, 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 no. Don't dare say that. It's better for me to die with what. So what I've realized about Africans, they say it's better for me to die with what I believe. It's better for me to just die. You just focus on yourself. Me, let me focus with my Jesus. They have sympathy with the white man's religion. They have too much sympathy. But it's just our thing, it's not the popular opinion. But I realize our people love their culture. So what I've done is I've broken that. I'm someone who's very radical. I'm not soft. I'm not soft. I say what I have to say unapologetically. I say it, and I don't apologize. I don't apologize for saying, for speaking the truth. I'm not being paid by anyone. I'm not being sponsored by anyone. I'm just a gift from the above, a gift from the ancestors that is just been sent. So I say what I want to say. And I have a lot of people who had to like break down a relationship with me. But well, then some of them they reconnected and say, "Oh, brother, very sorry. We realized this and this and that, this and this and that." They come. Some people come
mhm,
and they. You know what? What I've realized about the truth.
mhm,
Let's say you believe your lies, Wachira. I tell you the truth. At first, maybe you might say, "Oh, what? Yeah. But the truth will stick into your mind. If you sit down like what the prodigal son did, you realize, oh, I was told the truth. It's better for me to go back to that person. So we plant seeds of truth in people. Some people they go, they depart and say, you are now a Satanist, you are what, they call names, they go what. But no, we won't stop our revolution unapologetically. Some people come back, and to some people we've planted seeds, and we know they love their culture. It's not the popular opinion.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a really interesting way to put it, actually. Yeah. What I've seen also is people, despite whatever they want, Africans, whatever they say and they do, Africans deep down, they love being Africans. They love themselves. They love their
They love,
people. They love their
they
culture.
love.
It's just that they don't want to admit it and proclaim it, you know.
They do
So
not.
I can see Mordecai saying that great conversation, guys. I totally agree with your submission of taking back our identity and pride. It begins with what we share with our kids. Wow, that's amazing. And thank you, Mordecai, for watching it live. Muvavarirwa, somebody might be asking somewhere. You want to tell me there is no way we can put this together? Is there harmony for what was brought to us and what we had? Is there any room for harmony for these two?
For sorry, I'm on for.
For maybe the white person's religion, maybe Christianity, Muslim from the Arabian side, and now the tradition. Is there a way that, or our way of thinking, our way of life, and their ways of life that the colonizers came with? Is there a way for us to harmonize it, or it basically is this and that? Is it just a matter of verses, or can we be able to harmonize these two concepts or these different, diverse concepts?
Uh, what I can say in terms of that is, uh, Christians. The reason why I love to say Christians is I was raised from a Christianity background. The reason why I love to say Christians is I know them.
Mm,
I've been there. I've done that. Uh, Christians will never have just a conversation, a humble conversation with someone they've been said is satanic, someone is cultural. To them, someone who's cultural is evil. He's going to hell. He's going to burn in hell with Satan. You see? So, religion creates conflicts. And I don't see any way uh, these two coming together.
mm,
One creates conflicts. It creates conflicts. Let's look in countries like Nigeria. Christians, Muslims bombing each other every day, killing each other every day. There is no harmony. Religion
mm,
is what separates us, but the
mm,
Creator unites us. We were Africans before these colonial religions. We were one united people. Ever since they came, we are now separated. We are now divided. That knife that used to unite us is teared us apart. We no longer drink from the same cup. We no longer eat from the same plate. It's your beliefs and my beliefs. It's about comparing who has the right church, who is going to the right church, who has the right papa, and who has the wrong papa. There is no unity there. It's a matter of saying, my Jesus did this. And another African brother is saying, my Allah did this. There is no harmony there. There is no harmony there. There is no harmony. So,
mm,
for Africa to unite, it should be where it was before these religions came.
mm, mm. Timothy Mabango is saying that amazing mentality. Africa has hope, but only in unity of mind and purpose. Yeah, amazing, amazing. I'm sure most of us are learning from what Muvavarirwa is saying, and we are getting the message. We are getting the whole idea of what Powerful Africa does and what we are talking about here. And I have seen you guys have an event coming up, very interesting, with Dr. Joshua Maponga. And maybe you can tell us what that event is all about. What are you planning to do? And maybe, and for the people who are watching from Zimbabwe, what do they expect from that event?
Uh, about that event, I can say it's an event whereby we want to unite people of Africa. We want to celebrate our culture, our diversity. We are bringing people together. Our currency as Africans is our unity. Our
Mhm,
unity is everything.
mhm,
Our unity is everything. So that event, we are inviting all Zimbabweans, All Zimbabweans are invited, and I will deliver my speech. I've been writing it, and it's my time for me to launch a powerful speech. And my leader, Joshua Maponga, will be there. He will be there to support me. So yeah, it's a day we've brought people together because there will be a lot of interesting activities such as going to heading kettle, going to fetch water, fetching firewood, going to fetch fruits, a whole lot of things. It will be a funny filled day. We are going to have our traditional foods, a whole lot of things, traditional foods, even how to cook them, how to prepare them, a whole lot of things. So it will be a very, 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 very fun filled day. And also, more importantly, the guest of honor, Joshua Maponga. It's such a pleasure to be having him on this day. And also to my side, it's a lot of pressure. My senior is coming to sit down and listen to me as I speak. So I have to deliver.
We wish you all the best from the Wajira State fraternity. You know,
Thank
and we also
you.
send our greetings to Joshua Ponga and the Zimbabweans there and the entire fraternity of Powerful Africa. Wish you all the best. I hope one day the next ones that you guys will organize, one day we'll be able to come there physically. Uh,
You must come.
Yes, yes, yes. I see it's a very interesting thing that you guys have organized. I think I'm actually thinking we should organize something similar to that
Okay.
here in Kenya.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So as we wrap up, as we are almost wrapping up, Muvavarirwa, maybe you can tell us what are your final comments, and as we wrap this conversation up, what are your final comments, and what is that question that you expected me to ask and I have not asked? So, an information that you'd like to share with us, and as we wrap it up.
When it comes to questions, no, 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 my leader, you are very free to ask any questions. We can have this live as long as it's concerning Africa like this. I'm happy to come live with anything concerning Africa. I love my Africa. I love my Africans. And my final words to people out there is Africa will rise up again. We are now awakening that spirit in us, that giant in us to revive Africa. We are now awakening the ancestors within. The drums are now beating, the horns are now horning. It's time for the African child to wake up. It's time for the African child to wake up from mental slavery.
Mhm.
As Marcus Garvey said, none but ourselves can free ourselves. It is time as Africans. It is time we should reclaim our power. It is time we should know our past. It is time we should know our history. It is time we know why we are in what we are. I'm not happy to be called Vincent. That's a colonial name. I'm not happy to be called Alexander. It's a colonial name. My child will not be named James or Peter or Samson or Mary. My child will bear an African name and everything. My child will learn our own African language. It's not a privilege speaking to this in interview in English. But I hope one day we'll be able to have this interview whereby I will be speaking Swahili. That is the Africa that we want. We
Muvab, are you still there? Okay, so before I let you go, I can see some comments coming in and a question. There is Benedict Joy. Benedict Joy is saying, reclaiming our identity, we first need a conceptual decolonization. And he says that the African child needs to be awakened from coma of quote unquote European epistemology. And then Ken Kipto says that Washira asked this son of Africa what countries in the South are doing over the recent aggressive push by the whites in Cape Province in South Africa, Cap seat, to have their own country because I foresee NATO here. To what countries in the South are doing over the recent aggressive push by the whites in Cape Province in South Africa to have their own country. You know, there's been that thing, the whites want their own country. So what do you think about that? I'm not sure whether you can still hear me. Let's give him a minute or so to see if we can be able to reconnect. If we want, we can call it a show. We were almost wrapping it up, but it has been a very, very wonderful and awesome conversation that we have had with KVA Muvavarirwa all the way from Zimbabwe, and he has been giving us very, very interesting nuggets of knowledge and information. So I can see you're back. Maybe you can respond to that, Muvavarirwa.
Oh, am I clear now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm now clear. You can hear me clearly.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, Muvavarirwa, you can go ahead. I can hear you clearly.
Very good. When it comes to that one, whereby there's that comment from whereby he was asking about countries that are being aggressive, being pushed by the whites for the NATO thing. What I can say is, wherever you see these Americans, wherever you see the British, that's not a good place. Whatever you see them backing, whatever you see them supporting, these are not our friends. They have their interests. They have their interests in terms of everything. I've not gone deep because I would say some things that I have not yet done my researches. But what I can say is these big powers, we have nothing in common. We have nothing in common. They have more to take from us than we have to take from them. We don't need them at the first place. They need us. And like what I said, and like what the commenter is saying, they always buy one of us to kill one of us. They always buy one of us to sell out. They always buy, just like what happened in Zambia. The Americans putting their American base there is a threat to the SADC. That's a national threat. Same thing that is happening with the Starlink from Elon Musk. Look at the countries that it has been installed. It has been installed again in countries like Zambia. It seems like Zambia is following some interests. They have the same interests with these Americans.
Okay. Thank you very much. You allow us to stop the conversation at that. It has been a very interesting one. I'm sure that once we invite you again, you will come also and talk to us and share more information with us in the journey of just decolonizing the African mind. I want to appreciate everybody who has watched us live from Kenya, from Zimbabwe, and everybody who will watch this later. Kindly subscribe, share, comment, ask questions. We'll be responding to them if you have any question and any comment that you like to, or us to comment on something. Please do so. So with that, I'd like to wish everybody around the globe and in Africa and in Kenya and Zimbabwe a very, very good night, and enjoy the rest of the week. My name is Mutadhiwa Shirawanyaga. Ici nĩ ngerenwa cia Mobi Muburi. Thayo.